will be redeemable for prizes, or digital prizes as well as physical prizes. Some of them will unlock special events, like, they'll essentially be like tickets to VIP events, both digital as well as physical. But in general, they're just, kind of a little collectible game. I'm somebody who loves to collect things. I've always been into like comic books and baseball cards and stickers and whatnot. So I'm still a child at heart in that regard. So that I'm just putting something that I love into this whole system. And I hope that you all love it too. Eventually, not eventually, I'm hoping relatively soon, I'm going to have it so that you can also create mementos for events that you host here on the on the app and in Clubhouse. I'm also trying to give us our own Clubhouse. I'm actually working hard to create a similar audio chat feature inside our own app. And when that happens, you truly will need an account in order to join us in some of these discussions. Okay, so to get the app, download the app. I mean, it's not really a download process. You just need to go to remarkist.com. And when you go, if you go to remarkist.com on a mobile phone, if you have an iPhone, you need to use mobile Safari. Don't use another mobile browser like Chrome or whatnot. It has to be the Safari browser. If you're on Android, it needs to be the Chrome browser. Go to remarkist.com and it will come up as a little web page on your phone, right, in the browser. But you want to make it more of an app experience like all of the other apps that you have on your phone. And the way you do that is by adding that web page to your home screen like a bookmark. And you do that, like, for example, on the iPhone, you would press that little box with the arrow pointing up. That's at the bottom of the Safari browser, and it'll bring up that menu. And one of the choices is add to home screen. You tap on that, you'll see what the little icon will be. It's the Remarkist logo. You'll see the name. You can change it if you want, but I don't see why you would. It's Remarkist, so it's the Remarkist app. And then when you press it done, it'll be there on your home screen, just like any other app that you would download from the App Store. In fact, the technology behind this is pretty much the same technology that is used to build apps that are in the App Store. I just didn't put this on the App Store. This is the way that we get it. Makes it a little easier. Makes it a little easier for me, and I think that it also makes it a little bit more seamless for you. You don't have to type your Apple ID and all of that stuff. So if you would like to participate in this memento thing, I would get the app right now and then sign up. That would be the third tab on the lower right. It's a little sign-in screen. You'll see a button there, as well as a little list of reasons that I think you might want to get the app or have an account on Remarkist. And then put in your email. You should get a PIN sent to your email, which you will then type in, and voila, you'll have an account on the app. You can that little tab will now become your profile screen. You can change your name. You can add a little avatar for yourself, and you can participate in some of this game stuff. So I'm kind of a little nervous. Drum roll. I am going to now give you the details on this first memento, and I'm going to cross my fingers that all goes well. So the name of this memento is D-Fence, capital D space fence. That's the name of the memento. Some of you might already have an idea what episode that's been placed in. It's a past episode. For those of you who have figured it out, congratulations. But for those of you who haven't, I'll just tell you, it's in the episode I Solemnly Swear, which of course featured a fencing scene. So if you have your app, go to that event. It's in past events, and you should see it there. You'll see a little thing where you put where you're going to need to put the password in. If you don't see it, you might want to close your app out completely, do that swipe up thing and then swipe it out and then open it up again. That will completely refresh things, make sure that everything is there for you. since I made all of these changes. I'll give folks just a second to do that because I really do want as many people on this page as possible typing in this password around the same time. All right, let's do it. The password is easy, literally. It's the word easy, all lowercase.
It says it's minting.
Fingers
I have
crossed.
number 3.
You got number 3?
Yes, it says nice. You have edition number 3.
Okay. I'm waiting for the first
Mine
person.
still says minting, so I don't know yet.
Mine says minting. Maybe it says minting if you didn't get one.
Mine said
No.
minting too, and then it popped up
It'll
and
say-
said nice.
it
You
should
have
take-
edition number 3.
It could take anywhere from, 10 seconds to 15 seconds. Has anybody else gotten anything other than minting?
No, mine still says minting momentum.
Mine says all has been claimed.
It says all have been claimed.
Yeah. I was trying to log in and I didn't realize I wasn't logged in and I had to get the PIN. It takes like a minute for the PIN to come in, which is a thing, but it's not an issue.
Yeah, mine still says minting memento. I mean, I don't.
Mine too.
Mine still says please wait.
Yeah.
Go out. Why don't you leave and come back in? It would still say it if it was still minting.
It wouldn't screw it up.
No.
Mine
So
says,
the app like completely and retry it.
Now that it's minting, it's already been sent. So that send is still attached to your account.
Yeah, Sabrina, I think you said that. Mine didn't work either because when I logged out and logged back in, I didn't realize I wasn't logged in to get it.
All right, Instagram Live. I'm going to actually run to my computer really quickly. I want to just check. I want to check and see what happened, or just see what's going on. I'll be back.
Yeah. When I closed out and closed back in, it still said minting.
Yeah, I'm with
yeah, same here.
Same here.
All right,
But
let's
also, I found it like a solid 5 minutes before you told us what it was.
see. Oh, really?
I went to the
So if I don't get it, I'm going to be so annoyed.
I went to the face off at the
Me
time
too.
It was defense, like
Yes.
because I'm
I
watching
was like,
hockey.
he wanted one for Sean.
I literally was
But that
sitting
was an
here.
opportunity. I see.
I was like sitting here waiting for him to say the password for like 5 minutes with my fingers. Like I've never been so like shaky. I'm like, just say it. Like if you
I
watch
went
the
in.
sessions, I was like,
doing the
"Hee
same
hee."
thing.
I went in and I clicked on
I'm like,
mine.
just say the password, Sean. Just say it already.
I mean, when he
I
said
went
it's
in and
easy, I was
clicked
like,
on
oh,
mine
okay,
where it
so
gives
that's
you
the
the more
password type of thing.
information. And it says that there's only been one claimed, but I'm number 3.
Mhm.
Mine still says
I don't know
number
if
of
that
editions
helps you at
10.
all.
It doesn't say the like out of 10 for me. So maybe let me turn
Okay.
my.
So
See
what I'm seeing. All right. So I'm going to actually just really quickly fix this manually, and now I have to keep working on this, I guess. All right. All right. So, whoa.
So we
Right.
did break it. So we did what you wanted us to.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. Okay, so you all will, in a second here, you will all see it in a second.
Yay!
I didn't get it.
I got number 9.
So it's interesting.
There's still 5
quick
left.
too.
There's
All right,
still-
so 45,
Oh, just kidding.
47 people attempted, and
There's none left. I got number 10.
It
I
says
got
I'm
9.
Yep. I
Top
literally in
4.
real time watched all 10 of you claim it.
Yay! I got
hey, John.
So I have to figure out why. It didn't.
Was it supposed to reset? Because mine didn't reset. It just stayed frozen.
I
What do you
would
mean?
exit out of it and pull it
Yeah.
back up.
So when you actually send to Mint, it sort of attaches that action to your account. So you can, once that's happened, you can leave and come back. And if it's still minting, you'll still see that minting. If it has completed, you'll see the next screen. So it's like, it's not, once you type that password in, you're good. Like and you've sent it, you're good. You can go leave the page, go wherever you want, come back, and if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't.
How do you get to the page? I just got the app just now, and I can't figure out where to go.
Yeah, so if you go into Gilmore Girls, into that particular space, and then you click on past events, you'll see all of our past events. And you want to find I solemnly swear. The easiest way to do that is to type into the search bar I space S, and it'll be the first entry. You click on that, and then you'll be in that page. And you should.
I didn't know we had a search bar.
You should at this point see a message that says they're all taken.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I can't believe I've been here with this app as long as I have, and I've only just now found out that there's a search bar for episodes.
Is that new?
No,
I've been
in there.
scrolling back to look for
Wow.
Same, Lily.
I just now noticed that.
Also, John, when you were just explaining the app for new people, I remember when you told us you made sure to mention that with giving the emails you weren't collecting them.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so
because you did mention that before. I just was gonna.
Yeah, so
for the new people.
So something important to know for those of you who are like, I don't want to give my email address to some, anymore. Like, I make it pretty clear in the app that I'm not collecting data. I have no interest in selling people's data, and the actual email addresses that you're inputting are basically anonymized on my end. So I have no idea whose email address is attached to what account. It's a totally random one. It's just only used simply for the process of signing in for the PIN. So just something for those of you who are signing up for the app and or wondering about email addresses and where all of that information is being stored. I will say though, as this project grows, it may come to a point where I will need to have that information for a variety of other things that for example, if I end up moving this to a different database or platform, I will need to be able to contact people and let them know, and I'll have to have something other than your name, your username. I'll have to have some way of contacting you. So I'll probably have some sort of an opt-in for those of you who want to give me your email address for the express purpose of being able to contact you about something like that. But
can I ask a question about the Momentos?
Yes.
You made them 2 steps. So the first step is put in the password, and then the second step is claim your reward.
Correct.
Does the claim your reward have a role to play in the number that you get?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so the way that it's working now is that when you the way it was before, everyone was pressing their button at the same time, and the database was just like sort of collecting all of that, and it just didn't know when to stop. It also didn't know who was technically first, so it just gave a bunch of people one until there was a little bit of a breather, and then it gave the next person like number 6 if there were 6 ones, if there were 5 ones before it, right? So it was just a complete mess. So I had to create something where where it starts off really, I had to essentially create a little line, right? So everybody's they're all pressing their buttons and asking to get a place in line, and all of that information is sent somewhere else that does put everything in kind of an order. And it did in this case. There were 45 people, and it put all 45 in like a nice order. And then once you had your space in line, it would then tell you whether or not you can claim it. And it would only let you claim it if your place in line is less than or equal to the addition count. In this case was 10. So if your place in line was 1 through 10, you got the message saying you can claim it. If it was anything past that, you got the message saying you can't.
But how quickly you pressed claim your reward didn't change your position in the line.
Did not. Once you claim your reward, your position's already there.
Cool.
Where you get in line, that's the request button. Like when you press that, if everybody presses the request button, it's like by milliseconds, like people are being placed in order.
Ooh.
The problem that I just saw was just there was a particular piece of code that was not for some reason it was just not writing to these different records, and I have to figure out why it wasn't. So I had to like manually write them, and once I did that, then everything was in order. Well,
this is really cool, John. Thank you for putting all this time and effort in. It's
yeah,
really great stuff.
I'll figure it out. We'll keep going. I am going to try and release this this memento for tonight. The other one, it's for the episode, and you know what? I'm going to actually drop it right now. By the way, sorry folks that this is going a little over. You know, it's a special episode, so maybe it's okay.
It's an amazing episode.
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually drop this one right now. It's for this particular episode, and it has been dropped. So you should see it in tonight's episode. And I will give you the password for this memento at 8:30 tonight. Even if we go over a little bit, that's when I'll do it, because that's technically when this event ends. And if you stick around that long, then you'll have the password. And you know, you can certainly use your own judgment as to whether or not you share the password with others. There are plenty of people in this community that I think are deserving of mementos, even if they couldn't be there. So you can certainly share it with them. There are 75 of this particular one, and you can try passwords if you want between now and then, or just wait. Okay. Oh, I'm going to jump into my spiel. I'm sorry, we are super behind, but hey everyone, to all of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is Remarcus. We're a community of folks who like to watch our favorite television shows together, virtually, but as if we are in the same room, gathered around the same television. And the first show that we were watching together is Gilmore Girls, a show that I was an actor on, as you can tell by the speed of my delivery of this opening, but I never actually watched. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm watching it with fans. Those who arrive early can grab a seat on what we call the couch. That's this area up top here with 15 of us who have little microphones next to our avatars. That means that we can chat during this episode as if we were creating a sort of social DVD style commentary track. There are no real rules to how much or how little we chat. We can chat whenever we feel the urge, same as if we were casually watching together in person. However, we do find our sweet spot when we keep our remarks to what is happening in the episode. We try our best to squeeze those remarks into the air between dialogues so that we can still follow what's going on in the show. And when we have longer thoughts or we want to have a conversation, we save that for after the show, because we stick around for another 45 minutes afterwards to chat about what we just saw. We always avoid talking about future episodes, though, so that we don't spoil for anyone who hasn't seen it, like myself. We keep the volume on our TVs low so that when we do speak, others can't hear our episode in the background. And when we aren't speaking, we keep our mics muted to reduce background noise. Now, all of these episodes are being recorded, and they are archived on the Remarcus app. If you don't feel comfortable being recorded or having your recorded remarks available to the public, then just don't come up onto the couch or don't speak. We sometimes do have snags. If you lose your internet or you get knocked out of the room, just come back in. You will still be on the couch as you were before. If your episode cuts off and you need to figure out where we are in the episode, there's an easy way to do that, especially if you now have the app and have an account on the app, which you can get at remarcus.com. If you're signed in, you can go to the event calendar and then to the page for this particular event, where you will see a time code for where we are in the episode. If you don't have the app or you don't want to get another account, that's fine. You can just find the time code on my Instagram account, where I have an Instagram live feed playing. You can find a link to my Instagram by tapping my avatar here in this room, opening up my profile. We always skip ahead past the previously on. I can't imagine that there isn't a previously on for this episode, is there?
There's not.
Oh my goodness.
There is
gracious.
not. Nothing.
Okay, so if you have the DVDs, we always do that, but there isn't one. There's never one on Netflix. we always start at the beginning of the episode. This one has a guy on a bike and the gazebo's in the background. Does anybody have any questions? All right, then we are going to hit record. All right, we are now officially recording. And I am going to go into the Remarcus app so I can get that time code going. And the name of this episode is Those Are Strings, Pinocchio. Interesting title. All right, everybody who's been here before knows what we're doing next. If this is your first time, get your remote ready. We're going to all press our play buttons on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I've missed him. Robert Lee.
Oh, I was like, did they go to Europe? Was that in between? No. Okay.
What do you think of Lorelai's hair tonight, Dawn?
I love it. I love curly hair.
Season 3 was a good hair year for like everyone on this show.
I think what it is, I just like natural hair, and I feel like that's her natural hair. I feel like when it's straightened, it looks straightened.
Great observation.
That's actually a dream trip of mine to go up to Alaska.
Me too, to see the whales.
Search Josh Clark Moose, and that's my husband's story. Google it.
No, and they still just walk away.
I know, they left their bags there.
I just realized I don't remember the password for the Momentos. I'm gonna have to go back.
We are going to study.
I'm gonna go up and I know. I mean, I just have to go upstairs again and look at it on my computer, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, John.
Well,
anything I've tried hasn't worked so
what it's
far.
not.
I got it.
It's something that somebody could figure out.
Yeah, I got it. It was like the 3rd password I tried.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was. What number did you get?
2.
Oh, whoa! Somebody else got it.
Was it a word or a phrase?
It's not easy.
It's a phrase. I'm sad at the thought that this might be the last Adam Wiley that we get. Oh, I know why. I know why it messed up. I can fix it. Oh, I'm happy now. Also, I really like Melissa's hair in this, Suki's hair in this.
What are you doing there, John?
What?
They were just like, John's here. What is John doing? I said, what are you doing there, John?
Wait, what am I doing? I'm watching.
Never mind.
Mia's son is named John.
Oh my goodness. That's terrifying.
Well, like everybody's already gotten the memento. I was probably the last one.
I don't think so. I might actually have to still fix this one too. It's possible that this one got a little scrambled. I know what the
I
problem
don't have it.
Anybody who's just like been sitting on the minting screen, it's because something I need to fix, but I'll be able to fix it right after the episode.
Mine went from minting to like getting it like within seconds.
It's funny, you guys are good. I can't even remember what I came up with. I know it's something clever and related to it.
I feel ridiculous that I can't figure it out.
Or maybe it's not clever. I don't know.
It's clever, and it's not super easy to guess.
It's clever, but someone said it's a phrase. It's not a phrase.
I was gonna say it's not a phrase. That's the thing that got me.
Right, it's not a phrase. I just mean that it's not one word.
Might not even be a word.
I can't tell. Is that a dress or a skirt and shirt that she's wearing?
I think skirt and shirt.
Like a wrap dress.
Yeah, it's like a shirt that has like.
Careful with the mic.
What's that mean?
I like CCR. I don't know what they have against Jackson liking it.
I love them.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with liking CCR, okay? Be proud. I like them too.
I guess ASP wasn't a fan.
Exactly. Anything that's a fan of the show is basically Amy's personal music collection.
It made me sad that they didn't like Matchbox 20 either, because that's like my favorite.
I've 100% done this with crappy situations. Drink? Try to make it sound better than it is.
Here, here.
I love how she handled that whole thing.
I love this part.
It's funny that Dean shows up without anyone else in her family.
Dean's paid by Taylor to like do a lot of the stuff in there though.
His sister goes to the fun kid stuff though.
I've gone to my local town meetings without my family.
Well, Dean knows Rory's gonna be there, right?
Taylor wants to get rid of the poor deer.
Maury's rocking some 5 o'clock shadow there. I think that's the first scruffy face we've seen on him. Ah, this is what Dean's here for. I forgot this.
I like that they want to kill off the flying deer.
I love how you can see that it's totally photoshopped. I love Kirk.
Like the little lady who followed a fly. Get the wolves for the deer, and then what do you have for the wolves?
I love that Rory's still being enthusiastic towards Lane going to the prom, even though she didn't get to. It's so sad.
I love that they're 5x7 prints instead of 4x6 prints. Being Stars Hollow's darling, you'd think that they would let her have a ticket to the prom.
Would she want to go, though?
That doubt she'd want to go without Jess.
Darn guy having to ruin such an important part of her growing up.
How many siblings does he have?
She claims to have sisters early on in the series, so we can assume he has at least one older sister.
Guys, as we're doing this, I'm literally making my seating chart.
So you'll have a virtual table for all of us, right, Serena?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, see, again, I'm getting just friend vibe from him.
Yeah. Same.
And her.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I just love that. I'm realizing, like, for me, Team Dean doesn't necessarily mean team I want Dean to be with Rory, but I guess that's what the fandom considers it.
That's a good way of looking at it.
I think that's a little weird, making him pick a gift, though. But I mean, that's what a gift registry basically is someone's already picked out all the gifts they want.
Right.
I was just about to say the same. I would totally love that, actually.
Same.
It's just that Rory's pushing, and Lindsay's probably like, "What the heck, Rory? Get out of my wedding," you know.
Well, I don't think she would react like that. She'd probably be happy to have the support.
When we got married, my husband's grandparents sent us this catalog and was like, pick something out of the catalog. And it was a really weird process, but that's what they did.
Only mean from Rory, not from family. It's weird from Rory.
Maybe it's Rory's way of apologizing for being so rude about it when Dean told her, and she's trying to show her support now.
I think that's most of it.
That's what I interpreted.
That's a good point.
I mean, I do think it's a little weird. I see what you mean, Jen, but I think that she's trying to apologize in her own kind of clumsy way.
Yeah, Rory's always trying to be sweet. That's for sure.
Also, the IRS wouldn't have known for a full year that she received $75,000, but okay.
For sure.
Yeah, the timing doesn't work out in real life.
Yeah, that's what I said yesterday, how they wouldn't know.
It's so funny because they make so few references to religion and God. This is one of them.
Realistically, don't you need one pair of boots?
What about the toothpaste? Does the UK not have toothpaste to buy over there?
If you're an ugly American and you want your own American toothpaste, I guess not. I'm so annoyed I can't figure this out. She looks a grown up.
Predictions, John?
What was that?
Any predictions of what she's doing?
I feel like Emily has a, oh my gosh, she's pregnant face on right now.
Well, I don't think she's that nervous.
Oh.
I loved Emily's face throughout this whole scene.
I love that Emily's dress and Richard's shirt match.
Look at Emily's face. She's so excited.
I know. It's too easy to ask for $100,000 for your college degree. Come on, Rory.
You think they might be like, yeah, maybe do every other week because you're going to be at school and you're going to have homework? Like every week at 7 is kind of.
She's local, though. She's not that far from them.
Still, with Rory's like study habits, I figure that's weird.
Didn't she say when Christopher came that she does her homework on Saturdays and then like does extra credit stuff on Sundays? So she possibly could take like the one night off to go to Friday night dinner and then pick back up on her studies during the weekend.
She has to eat.
I love Suki's entire outfit, and I've always loved this handkerchief dress on Lorelai.
Yeah, these are some of my favorite dresses.
I don't remember. Is that the same suit that Jackson wore to Lorelai's graduation or not?
No, I think that was a darker brown suit.
Yeah, I think that one was darker.
Oh, I wish it was the same though. That would have been funny.
The boys have the same haircut.
I was just noticing that. Even like the sideburns.
Town bar.
It bothers me that Paris's parents aren't actually there. It's Nanny and the kids. That's so sad.
But I love that she has them. It's the greatest.
Yeah, I do too.
It's fitting. So if you have the DVDs, there is a deleted scene in this section that's really funny. Well, it's like, it's very interesting. It's kind of funny though, but there's other deleted scenes that are.
I have the DVDs. I'm just watching on Netflix, so it's easier.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ho, 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 ho.
And there's the title of the episode.
I definitely want to talk about why these dinners have to be a part of a deal at this point.
Emily's control.
It was Rory's idea.
Yeah, it was Rory's idea.
Lorelai's being a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be pretty excited if my kid needed money for school, especially in a school like that, and had family to give it to her.
She kind of was grumpy about it, but she accepted it, and then I think she gets happy.
I just don't know why Rory wouldn't be like, the Friday night dinners are not part of the deal. I'm coming to Friday night dinners from now on because I like hanging out with you.
Yeah, nice food, and they're nice. Why not?
Because she
Rory
still knows
knows
the
that Emily-
grandparents.
Sorry.
She's just negotiating Emily's style.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of their thing. Everyone knows she's still going to go for Friday night dinners. I think it's just part of the fun.
I see, okay.
Those pearls are very distracting.
Oh, and that lady behind her.
I mean, that lady behind him is kind of fabulous, though. I mean, she's
know.
rocking it.
Melissa McCarthy is gold.
That's Emily just pushing buttons.
Short people problem.
I totally.
Store people problems for sure, dude.
I was just gonna
he,
say,
he was definitely appetite.
But if I was Emily, I would have said, I would just been like, I want to sit here because I can see better. Sorry.
I would have just got up and moved over and said nothing. I'd be like, okay, moving.
Richard could have offered to switch sides too. He's tall.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Or she probably assumed the empty spot next to Lorelai was for Christopher.
Well, they said it'd be coming in.
Yeah, who's not here, might I add.
Do you think he was invited?
They covered that he was out of town, but they wanted them to take pictures and everything.
Oh man, Headmaster Charleston.
I love how pageant.
I'm gonna
Mom
miss that guy.
Suki- I love how pageant Mom Suki is being.
I love that about Suki. I would do this. I would be that person.
I am that mom.
I can't wait.
My daughter graduated last year in COVID, so I didn't get the chance to.
Parents never change.
Fred.
Yay.
Fact.
Wonderful name drop.
I wonder how he was chosen to go up and talk.
He's a salutatorian.
Good for him.
I don't know what that is. We don't.
Second to
That's
valedictorian.
the person in the class. So the valedictorian is the first person in the graduating class. Salutatorian is literally the second person in the class.
Which means he beat out Paris.
I
But
know. How did he beat out Paris?
they're probably tied, or is Paris tied with Rory? Well, Paris also had a meltdown mid-semester, so
That's what I think.
on C-SPAN, I don't think they're going to give her a microphone at Chilton anytime soon.
Yeah, I think with certain schools they can choose like who can be like the valedictorian and the salutatorian and stuff. Not at my school, but I've read somewhere that some schools do that. I will stop now.
Johnny,
We had
pay attention to this
multiple.
part.
Oh God.
Favorite? Not crying.
You guys all saw that Adam Wiley little musical bit, right?
Oh, we know.
No,
We know.
You've seen this before.
Trying not to cry now.
We're not crying.
Not crying.
Richard's face there was so wholesome, and it just looked so honest. It just touched me so much. That's like my favorite Richard moment, is seeing his face right there.
Go, Suki, go.
I love that Suki's doing it so Lorelai can sit there and be present and enjoy it.
They must have had a job getting these hats to look right. Graduation caps are the most unforgiving headwear in existence. Did anyone's high school actually let you throw your caps?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't.
No.
No, we weren't allowed.
Yeah.
My graduation was one person at a time and social distance, so I don't know.
They decorate the back of theirs really heavily, so their names are all over it, and you just go find it afterwards.
Hey, everybody, I actually tuned out of the conversation to focus on the Adam Wiley concert. What were we saying about salutatorian? Who is the salutatorian? I didn't get that.
The second.
No. I know who that. I know what a salutatorian is. Who was it in the school? Do we know?
Brad.
Oh, Brad was the salutatorian. Why not Paris? I wonder.
She had a meltdown.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. I read somewhere that some schools choose who gets to be the valedictorian and the salutatorian. And given that Paris had her meltdown on C-SPAN, it probably wouldn't have made the most sense to the higher ups at Chilton to give her a mic and present a speech. But I mean, that's not how they did it at my school. But I've read that it's possible. So
Usually, like the class president and stuff gives speeches as well, not just the salutatorian and valedictorian.
So what was Luke
looks great. Luke looks great in this scene.
But what was he looking for from Lorelai in that conversation?
I don't know. We should talk about it afterwards. Oh man.
They say with smiles on their faces.
I know.
I would assume from that, if I was, if I didn't know anything else that comes, I would think that arc is over and that character's leaving. That's funny.
I love Richard so much. How did I not know every kid in Chilton's getting a car?
So can we just assume that like whatever was going on in the last episode, the Rory comment, it just dissolved it all because it feels like it's gone now.
I think the speech made up for it.
And I think partly she knew she was being stupid. Time to move on.
She was still giving Lorelai attitude.
Right, but Rory's off the hook now.
I hate that a guy had to ruin such like an exciting time for her.
Well, I think this part is good. She gets closure.
Yeah, I actually have some thoughts. Oh my goodness. Really? He really couldn't say anything. Not a thing.
It bugs me so much.
I mean, really,
Say
like not
something.
anything, not even just like congratulations, nothing. Just anyway, I'll have more to talk about with this in the post show. And Team Jess fans, don't worry, I'm not going to be hard on it. I actually have some clearer thoughts on all of this, and it also includes my feelings about Dean and what I said earlier about him.
You can be hard on him.
Well, I'm hard on that moment. That was
hard.
like, why? Like, what's the, just, you can
This
say,
is
I
the
mean,
best part.
Wait, guys.
oh. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa.
That's just a dream.
Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Dream. Yeah.
It's such a good bookend
So
to the
that-
beginning.
That was so awesome because, I mean, the beginning was like so obviously a dream. That was not. That was awesome.
This one always snuck up on me. I always forget it's a dream.
Same.
I mean, the first one's ridiculously a dream.
And because your subconscious controls what you dream, that's why Lorelai was in the same dress. Might be home napping, and they're still at school.
He wakes up early.
They're clearly like the last people around, though.
Oh yeah, they're milking it.
And realistically, it was the only place to wedge it into the episode.
Oh, the Wallace.
Makes you tingle.
The best Lala.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Amazing.
Oh,
Okay,
I've been
hold on one
saying
second.
these last 2 episodes were just going to be fantastic, and they were.
Okay, so before we jump into discussion, let me open up the couch.
And the season ended with the two of them.
I'm so happy for that. All right, everyone, we've opened up the couch. Please join us up here for some lively discussion. We're gonna probably go over 8:30 a bit, but I will give that password. I'll actually hint the password now for folks who want to try and guess it. I'm curious how many people got it. I'm
I got
downstairs. I do remember what it was. I remember
A lot of us got it, and they were all different.
I got it.
They were
It
all
has
just,
a glitch.
Yeah, there was more than
Yeah,
one.
there's a
answer.
oh, really?
I got number 3.
I got 32.
I got 31. What's the password,
Wow.
John? What was the real
15.
password?
The real password is big envelopes.
What?
Whoa, that's not even close
Are
to
you
what I
serious?
got.
So
No.
We all put in numbers.
We put in 2003.
As my husband would say, Keska.
Oh my goodness. Wait, hold on one second. Let me actually just
Maybe numbers work regardless. That may be a glitch.
maybe. Let me
That's
let me actually head up really quickly to just check Instagram Live. I'll be right back. I just want to see what things look like. You know, I was working really fast today, so it's very possible. It's not a big deal. I mean, people got it, they got it. Like, you know, the password is really just meant for
Woohoo!
I
should 4.2 because she's
valedictorian has her GPA.
Mine's saying still minting for big envelopes. Was that all lowercase?
Oh yeah, there's only one person who's minting still. Yeah, that's yours. I'm guessing. Shall I? Do you want me to give up? Here, I'll give it to you right now. Ready? And here you go.
What was really funny, John, is that me and Charlie.
Oh no, there's actually a bunch of people who hasn't minted. Let me actually. So some folks here, they haven't had theirs minted. If you would just give me a day, I would actually like to not mint it, just because it will give me a chance to figure out. If I mint it, then I won't be able to actually fix it. So I can see that they're not minted. I could easily mint them for you like quickly, and you'd have it. But I need to figure out why it's not minting the way that I have it. I also don't know why you all have a different password. That doesn't make any sense.
It worked though.
The password should be big envelopes.
Yeah, that's totally not what any of us tried at all.
That's funny.
Nope. Yeah,
I don't think any of us would have ever got that.
No, we typed on that password like it was.
What's the reference? Like,
Big envelopes?
Yeah. What episode?
College. If you go to college.
If you get the big envelope, you got in.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
to valedictorian though? Like I can
Well,
understand we were
valedictorian is just the name of the valedictorian is just the name of the is just the name of the memento. She's the valedictorian, and big envelopes is just what she got to go to college.
Yeah, I took valedictorian as a clue, and I put it in her GPA, which is 4.2.
That's what I was saying. I was working
No.
off of the name of valedictorian as the clue. So I was like, Yale bound. More.
Well,
I
just so you know, the password is designed to be a password. It's not designed to be a puzzle. So, it was definitely something that I made that, you know, I figured some people might may get if they thought that, but it was really mostly designed for folks to get it once I release it. But what I don't understand is why it didn't work.
Your password.
Yeah, why it didn't work? I mean, because
I'm really
easy work.
Numbers.
Did anybody get like an error that it wasn't working? Like that? Did somebody try something?
Yeah,
Yes,
I got a lot of that.
Yeah.
We did get
that. And
We
did
tried
any folks?
lots of passwords.
Did any folks just now use big envelopes and get it, who were trying to get it before and they couldn't get it?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I
did too.
Okay.
It didn't work.
Wait, big envelopes says it's wrong.
Yeah.
Did you do all lowercase?
It's got to be
I
all
all
lowercase.
lowercase with a space.
It's got to be all
I
lowercase.
put the air date of the episode.
Wait, hold on, everybody. Hold on. Let me speak. It's all lowercase. It has a space in between big envelopes. You don't put a space after it, and this is very important. Don't press return because that will add another line below it that you actually might not recognize is there, and that also changes the password. The password is simply lowercase big space lowercase envelopes. That's it. That's the password.
Yeah, I thank you.
Okay. Now,
it didn't work for me. I just put it in.
why don't you try completely clearing out the entire thing? Because like I said, you might have an extra like carriage return in there or something.
This is so funny that there's like the real password is not what people use.
It sounds like people who got it put in a number. Everyone who got it put a number in. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so clearly that's the bug, is that a number will work.
Now it worked for some reason.
Yeah, because you likely had a space in there, a carriage return in there that you didn't notice.
I always have a bad habit of hitting return, and then it does, and then puts that space in.
If you press,
John, don't forget to get yours.
Yeah, mine worked.
Oh yeah. If you type it in, you press return because you think pressing return will then activate it. It won't. It'll add a carriage return, and that will add a new character that will make it invalid. However, the bigger question is why I don't really know why numbers were working. I guess I'll have to figure that out.
John, if you haven't claimed yours yet, try and put in just like random numbers and see if it'll do for any
Try
number,
2003.
or if it's just like a glitch.
I'm
Mine
gonna
still says minting.
I really wanted the answer to be biggest virgin in the world.
so for those
That was my first guess, and I so thought I was right.
For those of you who have a thing that says minting, I know that. I can see it. I can see all of the people who claimed one, but it still hasn't officially minted on this end. If you don't mind, just give me a day. I can mint it for you right now, and you'd have it. But then it would make it harder for me to figure out what's going on. So if you don't mind, just tomorrow it will be there. You'll have it on your account. You'll see it in your profile. It will be there. But later tonight, in its unminted state, I'll be able to actually problem solve and troubleshoot what's going on, and hopefully figure it out.
So John, those
yeah.
2003 in, are you just gonna like take the memento away?
No.
Okay.
No. The password is
Thank God.
The password is just designed. It's really just designed to add like a layer of it's just designed so that it's the only reason I put the password in is so that just random folks who weren't here with us tonight just go there tomorrow and claim the memento. Like it's just designed as a way to verify that you were here tonight. That's it. So I mean, I'm of course I'm not going to take that away.
But then they listen to the recording, John, and then they hear it anyway. Yeah, sure. But I mean, well, that's okay too.
By that time, it might be all gone.
Yeah, it might be all gone, and also that's okay because they listened to the recording. They wanted to be a part of it, but they couldn't, and so they listened to the recording. And I think that's just that's true. To me, that's legit.
What's really funny is that me and Charlie, the last half of the episode, because obviously we know this episode really well, we were saying like quotes back and forth, like during the crying part, we're like, not crying. Okay, crying a little. On the verge of blubbering here. I'm blubbering. Okay. You're free.
So I'm going to try. So I just typed in hello there. It didn't work. I'm going to try big capitalized BIG and then lowercase envelopes. And that also doesn't work. And now I'm going to try numbers. I'd rather try numbers because I know that lowercase big envelopes will work. So what? Just random numbers.
2003.
Well, I think
no.
Zachary said he put in
542.
Yeah,
I put in the date that we started the Remarcus thing, and it worked.
I put in 2005. Sounds like other people put in 2003.
So
542 is the actual air date.
Hold on one second, everybody. Let me ask some questions here. Zach, what did you put in?
4.2, which was her GPA for valedictorian.
Okay, and let's see if that works. That works. Wow. Okay. There's a problem there. It has something to do with numbers. It has some. No, I mean it's not a big deal. It's it's
hilarious.
It's software. It's it's just part of the game. All right. Cool. Well, I got my memento.
I did send the actual password to Claudia.
I got edition number 66. I'm sorry to all of you who are still waiting for it to be minted. I really appreciate you just holding off. It will just help me. It'll help me figure out what's going on. Nobody will lose their memento. If it says that it's minting there for you, then you got it, because because there's 75 of them, and right now I just got number 66. So there's still 9 of them left. So if it says minting for you right now, it means you got one of the ones before 66. Does that make sense? Remember I said that you're in line? You're in line. You're already in line. So you don't have to worry about it. You're in line, and your place in line is before 66. So you're going to get it. It's just going to come tomorrow morning.
I had number 62. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, if you got
Who got number 1?
Who did get number 1? I don't know.
Was it Sheev?
Sheev, did you get number 1?
I hope it was Sheev. That'd be great if it was, because he got one of the original county ones, right? Like first off.
Sheev, what number did you get? He's going to text me. He got 5.
Nice.
Oh,
What
wow.
did they put in? Not too shabby.
He got 5. No. He got 5 for the first one. He got 5 for the defense.
I got 4 for that one. I'm just happy that I got.
He's still minting. He's one of the people who are still minting.
I find it funny that the
26.
Okay.
All right, so we should talk about this episode since it is the season finale. This stuff is very fun, and thank you all for bearing with me on this. I'll fix it. It will work. It's just,
John,
This
one
stuff
small
is
step at a
very
time.
fun for us too, and we're sorry that it's troubling you, but just know it is a lot of fun for us too.
Okay, good. Yeah, and there's so much cool stuff coming, like, that I have not revealed, that just a part of this whole thing. Like the Momentos is just like a very small part of a larger thing that I'm going to be unfolding slowly over time, and I'm just geeking out over it. It's really, really fun, and I can't wait to share more of it with you. And I want it to work, so I'm just trying to figure it out. But I'll get it to work. All right, let's turn to the episode. Where should we start? We've got a lot to cover here. Should we start with Rory and the money?
How much money do you think Lorelai paid them back, though? I'm confused by that. They still talk about having Grandpa's money, but I thought she paid them back a bunch of that.
She paid them back, but that was left over. So he gave her a check for $75,000. If it was only, let's say, 40,000, that's what she had left. So she did have a cushion still.
My guess is that she had 25,000 left, because remember, she said 50,000. Remember, she said that's a lot of zeros after that 5. I'm guessing that that's $50,000
For 3 years. Wow.
And so then that would mean, that tracks. I mean, that's kind of on par with some of the private schools that I've heard friends of mine have their kids in, in terms of like breaking it up into years, and that's like recent. So I would imagine. So I would imagine that like that was actually pretty hefty for 2003 for a private school. But anyway, I think she had 25,000 left.
I agree.
Thanks. For some reason it was throwing me off, so I just want to know what you guys thought. Thank you for that.
I'm just remembering what someone once said about, like, when you're watching Gilmore Girls, you just have to push aside your, like, beliefs of money and time, and then everything makes sense. So however much money she has, however much money she has, we don't need to know the actual numbers because they won't make sense.
I did think a little bit about what Kai said when he was watching with us, where he said that like it kind of hit me where he was like, he said, the show, so much of the conflict in the show is solved with money, and I feel like the whole premise of the show begins with money, and this it's just another example to how just sort of money is thrown at the problem, and like, boom, we've got now a new inn, and we've got Rory in college, and that it's sort of a repeat of, it's very much a repeat of the very beginning of the series, and I don't know how I feel about that.
But this
I
time
think
it's
for that-
Rory doing it.
Yeah, I know, but it feels like it's kind of like, oh, this time it's Rory, so it feels a little different, I guess, but it still feels kind of like a repeat.
I think that was just a way to
Yeah.
make sure that the grandparents are still in the show. Because
Yeah, I know, I get that. I just feel like I guess I would have liked to have seen a different. I would have liked for us to get there in a different way, and that's also part of why I was bringing up this. Like, I know that that's kind of their thing. That's the way that they interact, and that's Emily's personality. I guess she would respond to it, but I just don't really get why Friday night dinners have to continue to be part of any sort of deal.
I think Emily thinks that if she doesn't have that agreement with them, if it's not something that's dangling over their head as a must, they're not going to show.
But it was Rory's idea. That's the thing. Like, I can't fault Emily for this because
Totally.
it's Rory who said, I'm going to institute it as well.
Maybe
I
I think
Yeah.
Rory is going that way because she knows it will gladly please Emily, and that's what Emily would like, those dinners to continue. Or maybe Rory wants them to continue, and she thinks that's the only way she could get every Friday night is to make it like a deal.
Yeah, I know,
or even that.
but I also
Yeah,
just
she
think
did
that,
say the dinners would make her happy. Oh crap!
yeah, I just think that, like, why make it a deal? Why couldn't she just say, I just want you to know I've really enjoyed the time that we've spent together during this, and I don't want it to be a part of the deal because I want to come here every Friday because I want to see you. I just think that would have gone much further, and maybe Emily would have sort of been a little worried, like, oh, that's not enough for me. I would prefer to have it, like, in some sort of a deal to make sure that I can hold it above them. But I think that Rory's the one who's in control because she's the one who's bringing the deal to them. It's on her terms. And so I think that Rory saying that would have really allowed, it would have given the opportunity for Emily to really truly see how much her granddaughter enjoys being with her. If, like, going forward, Rory was just always coming over and really made it a point. This is important. I'm always there. It's not a part of a deal. It's part of my relationship with my grandmother. I think that, like, that could have really gone a long way in terms of them getting closer, and perhaps even getting closer to Lorelai, because I
Rory
would have come
knows that Emily's personality, though, she wants control. So it was like Rory's way of saying, yeah, you can have back the control, Grandma, for doing this for me.
Hillary, Sasha, and Nikki were all flashing.
I think that it's more of a script thing with Sherman Palladino's penchant for full circle. So it's a full reflection of the first conversation. So, but it's also reversed because now Richard is telling Rory, you need money, just like he said to Lorelai in the pilot. So I think that it's a full circle thing, but also I think that that Rory knows that Emily will want it, but she won't ask for it because she won't exert that control directly over Rory because she still wants Rory to like her. But also, I don't know if everybody can see, I refreshed my screen. I actually had Rory's graduation quote on my hat at my college graduation as a nod to Gilmore Girls and as a nod to my mom, who wasn't there to see me graduate because she's not with us anymore. But I thought it was appropriate because she always wanted me to finish college, so I did for her.
So I feel like with what was it? Someone made a comment, I think maybe it was you, John, with
the whole, why does it have to always be about money? Like, why couldn't they like find a different way type thing? I feel like, yes, we still don't know how like Lorelai got her house in the first place, because it's like, that place is huge. And even on an executive manager's salary, I think that would be pretty difficult to get, even in 2002. But I feel like with Chilton and then now Yale and things like that, if it was up to Lorelai to pay for both Chilton and then now Yale, I feel like Rory wouldn't have gone to Chilton. Rory wouldn't have gone to Yale. She probably would have tried to go to a different college just to not completely strip her mom of money. And so I feel like without Richard and Emily, we wouldn't have had Chilton, and we won't have Yale. And so I feel like, even though, yes, like in their world, everything comes with a price, and I think I just quoted a different TV show. Anyway, but sometimes it's in good taste, because we remember Richard's speech where it's like, I don't want you paying interest and things like that, and he was willing to counter offer, and like there wasn't really anything attached to it. And then obviously Emily at the end pulled it out like she always does and said, we'll see you both Friday night for dinner type thing. I think, like, I don't know, money means power, and money can sometimes buy you happiness, but I feel like sometimes it's needed in order for someone to pursue their dreams.
I wasn't really criticizing it. I was just pointing it out. It just reminded me of something that Kai said. I remember when he was here, he was like, one thing that you're going to notice is that money is something that in this show solves a lot of problems, that like, and problems, not necessarily like problems for the characters, problems for the writing, like obstacles that are placed there in the writing get resolved because money's thrown at it. And you know, you could argue, some could argue, well, that you could figure out other ways to resolve, to solve a narrative, a narrative obstacle than to throw money at it. But, in defense of this particular world, it is a world of like upper crust. I mean, that's a big part of it, is this sort of upper crust society. And so it makes sense. I also think that like money does solve a ton of things in the real world. You don't even have to be from a high society to understand that, like, when you get money, it can open up a lot of doors that are not there. So it's just mostly it was just an observation that I made based on what Kai said. Just
I
realized.
don't think you were criticizing. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Nikki, Shauna, and Shelly were all flashing.
Nikki?
Yeah, I guess I have one theory or thoughts on the why she threw in the Friday night dinners. She made the comment that Richard said to her, we've missed you, and she said, I've missed you too. And I do think that that's genuine on Rory's behalf. I think she really does like those Friday night dinners, and which is so hard for Lorelai to understand. And so by Rory putting that in the deal, she doesn't have to have a conversation with Lorelai saying, like, look, Mom, I like going to Friday night dinners. I like spending time with Grandma and Grandpa. And this way, because it's part of the deal, she just has to say, look, I have to go. It's part of the agreement.
That's good. I like that. That totally sits with me. I like that a lot.
So, which, we do know that, like, Rory is definitely better at reading people and knowing what motivates people. And to me, it's a creative solution that both satisfies Richard and Emily, but also, appeases her mother as well.
I just looked up the average tuition of private high schools in New England. Connecticut, secondary private schools in Connecticut cost more than twice the national average. As of 2019, the average tuition among all private
secondary schools was $33,000.
Yeah. So if you go back to like, 2003, that might be about half. That would probably make sense that it would be somewhere around 50 for those 3 years.
Shauna
Not to
and
mention,
Shelley.
what college kid doesn't love free food?
Right.
And quality free
A
food at
homemade
that.
at that, a homemade meal at that. What kind of college kid would reject that?
Yeah. Mary, who was next after Nikki? I'm sorry. I
Shauna and Shelley, but I don't see Shauna anymore. Did she leave?
I'm
No,
here.
Shauna's
Oh,
down
there
there.
you are. Okay, sorry, my screen reorganized. I'm so
Shauna.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to chime in because like after Hillary commented and then it was Tasha and everybody was kind of silent, but I wanted to say thank you for sharing that with us, Hillary, about your mom. I'm sorry for your loss, even though it was a while ago. I'm still sorry. And thank you. And that's it.
Yeah, I second that. Shelley, did you want to chime in on some of this?
You covered it pretty much, as saying that even our average and lower class people, money always is, that's an ongoing theme in everybody's lives. So I feel like it's relatable. It's just not relatable on maybe the Gilmore level for most people. But also, like, I don't know. That's pretty much all I was gonna say. And I feel like
she texted me Deus Ex money, which is funny.
Well,
Deus,
it's like
Deus Ex Machina.
it's like on Friends when they're talking about money and Ross is like, well, I've never really thought about money, and Rachel and Phoebe are like, because you have it.
Yeah, and I guess that's a part of it, is that like despite the fact that they are Lorelai's from money, really like the show sets the characters up as as people who are oddly struggling, or that Lorelai is struggling for money, and so yeah, I mean, when Kai mentioned it, I mean, his perspective was, we he came from a family that it sounded like money was a struggle for them, and so I think that more than anything, it was the fact that like on this show, money is really like right there. All it requires is like a conversation and appeasing somebody's ego, and then suddenly you've got money.
John, I'm sorry.
Now you go.
Zachary?
No, I feel like I cut in front of somebody. I apologize.
oh, please go, Zachary. Just say it, please.
Okay. I had a sort of perspective question for you, John. If you, considering this is the first time you're watching through it and you didn't know there were more episodes to come, sorry if I'm out of breath outside doing my cardio, would you know that there was a further, like, more of the show to come, or would you consider this almost like a finale because everything's kind of come full circle? The season started with money and Friday night dinners. She graduated, European vacation, the end closing. What do you think?
Well, there's first I would find out whether or not it was actually getting renewed. I don't know if folks actually knew at this point whether the show was being renewed. Back in the day, around that time, renewals were not announced while the show was on the air. You found that out like while they were on hiatus. And so, there were often some big surprises. So I would have assumed that the show had the opportunity to come back, because I would have, because a network show, like they're trying to get those 7 seasons. The only reason why it wouldn't is if it was not a popular show, if it just didn't get the ratings that it needed to. And I don't know. I guess I would think that the show was popular enough, so I would think that it was coming back. But I'd certainly be nervous because it feels like it could end here. They do a really good job of sort of wrapping things up. However, we are left with a big cliffhanger with the Luke and Lorelai thing, because that's definitely that's definitely set up for us to wonder what's going to happen there. And so if this is the final season, I would be left with a lot of questions there, and it wouldn't really totally sit right with me. But I would probably assume that there's a good chance it's coming back, and the only thing that would derail it would be that the network just decided no, they're not going to give it they wanted to go on to new things. I would certainly not think at all that the writers wanted to end it, like, that's for sure, because of that Luke and Lorelai thing. That's enough. But things like Paris, I totally would assume she'd be gone. That felt like arc ended. There's not much for us to do anymore with these characters. They've sort of run their course, or she's run her course. And I would have assumed that that's it. That Paris is gone now. Maybe she'll show up, on some small episode, as a throwback, but that she wouldn't become a character.
The fun fact is that in terms of ratings, the Nielsen ratings, which were once upon a time very important for a show, the Nielsen ratings for Gilmore Girls, do you know which were the two highest seasons?
4.
2 and 3.
Oh, right. That makes a lot of sense.
Interesting. Adriana, you wanted to say something.
Me? Just before, I wanted to say that the money thing, I like it because it really gives me such relief that it's one of the reasons that I see the show. How the resolution of conflicts and the way of life they have. And the money thing, I think it's very funny because it's actually really easy. Like, I need money, grandparents. Okay, here you go. And that's the end of it. John?
Yeah, I'm thinking on that. I mean,
The answers to all our turmoil is to just find rich grandparents.
yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it's definitely funny. I mean, there's something cute about it, but just in terms of narrative conflict, I guess the conflict just isn't, I guess that's not really where the conflict is. I guess the conflict is, the conflict of the series is deeper. It's the conflict between parents and their children and family stuff. And that the money isn't really it's not really designed to create any real significant narrative conflict. We kind of know that Lorelai's eventually going to get that in. We don't know how she's going to get it. She's going to get it. It's not really important. We're not on the edge of our seat. Is it going to happen? We know it's going to happen. What we're more worried about is what's going to happen between characters, what's going to happen between Rory and Jess, what's going to happen between Rory and Dean. Those are the things that feel uncertain. Those are the things that keep us worried. We're not worried about I guess the money stuff, and the things that money solve aren't really, I would say, aspects of the show that have me all that concerned or that invested.
But to be fair, I did know kids in college. I went to a really small private Christian school for my first year of college. And a lot of my friends were complaining that they had to go there because it's where their parents were paying for them to go. And I kind of hated them since I was taking out tens of thousands of dollars of student loans to be there. It just kind of always rubbed me the wrong way. You're like, oh, you have to be here? Do your parents want another kid that doesn't hate them?
My husband's father paid for all of his children's tuition 100%. They just had to go to school and stay in school and do what they needed to do. And it kind of creates some conflict between us because him and his brother flunked out because he didn't really have anything on the line. I mean, a college degree, but I worked 3 jobs and took out loans this whole time I was in school. So I felt and that's how his brother was too, he didn't really have to work for it. And the other 2 siblings graduated, but
I totally get what you're saying. I feel like that brings on like a new form of pressure though. Like if you were given the money to go to school, but all you really had to do was just stay in school and like get good grades, obviously. I feel like that would add a little bit like more pressure because it's like, because college is not for everyone, and we all know that. I dropped out of college after my first year, and so I feel like if I had that pressure where it's like, I'm totally cool with paying your college, that's totally fine. All you have to do is just graduate and get good grades. I'd be like, but what if halfway through I feel like, oh, like I don't need school anymore? Then it's like that type of thing, you know?
Well said, Sasha.
Yeah, I agree.
But also, like in Rory's case, it's like her whole life built it up or builds up to that point where, she's going to jail. She's not like going to like a normal college school. She's going to jail, and she was going to Harvard. So for her, I don't think there's so much pressure. But in any case, I agree with you also because I did feel a lot of pressure when I was in college, and that made me do all the wrong things. So yeah, I understand and I agree.
So I don't know if this is a good time to change the topic or not.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you want to chat about either Dean, Rory,
Luke.
Yeah, that's the part we should probably do that so we don't run out of time, because for me that's sort of like that's the most interesting.
Like his dream or just the interaction with Lorelai at the end?
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all. I think
question.
it all plays into things. I was just going to make one quick thing about the Jess and Dean thing, and I mentioned it early on, like how one thing that I've realized, I guess I always knew it, but it sort of lands here particularly because I really love the friendship between Dean and Rory. I really love it. I think that's what's kept me a Team Dean fan this whole time. She doesn't. She doesn't really love Dean. I do think that she loves Jess. I think that the feelings that she has for Jess are more. They're more like
passionate.
Well, they feel more like a maturer love than.
Do you think that's because they dated in real life?
I don't know. I think I think it's more the writing. She also says it, in a way that like, she had a very hard time saying it to Dean, whereas here, it comes out in a way that feels a little different. It feels a little bit more vulnerable. I guess my whole thing was just quite simply this like half realization, because again, I feel like I probably already knew this, but that like Team Dean, like this whole thing, like Team Dean, Team Jess, like for me, and maybe that's because I'm a guy, I don't think that I've ever really totally been able to see this as who do I want Rory to end up with. I've more come from it from the standpoint of who do I like more? Who do I relate to more? And whose relationship do I like more? And I like their relationship more. And I think that this episode sort of it encapsulates that for me. I don't need them to ever get together. In fact, I don't think that they will, and I kind of probably hope that they don't, because I just like this.
But the Jess and Rory one?
Well, I don't really like it as much. I don't like it. I don't like some of the things that happen in the season between them and whatnot. But what I do acknowledge the feelings that are there, and particularly the feelings that Rory has for him. I think that he has feelings for her that are somewhat similar, but like I feel her feelings a lot more strongly. I think that this was just his behavior here at the very end just had me like really scratching my head. Why he couldn't say anything on the phone. It just seemed really odd. But I don't know, this whole team thing is just it's a weird thing. I like playing the game, you know, like with everyone, like, you know, hashtag Team Dean and, you know, and all that kind of stuff, you know, but it's a much more complicated than that, than just a simple, like,
Just
I'm
you
team
wait.
this, I'm team that, you know?
I didn't know there were teams. This is new for me, but
Oh,
yes.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was big time teams, like major. Anyway, I don't know. Anybody have a thought on that before we move on to Luke and Lorelai, or do we want to just head on over there?
I have a quick
fear
question before
that-
we move on.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I fear that trying to talk about your point, John, will be very hard right now, considering what people know.
Yeah,
let's
but you
move
don't
on.
know what's going to happen.
Got it.
It's
Got it,
hard
got it,
to
got it.
express the way you feel about some of that without being able to share what we know. versus
Fair
what
enough.
we don't know.
Fair enough. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
And
do
also,
it.
there's only one team, Team Dean. That's
Team Rory.
I like.
Wait,
Rory.
Zach, are you Team Dean?
Follow.
I'm Team Dean. Yeah.
Team Brian.
For me, truly, I will sound very controversial. Please, nobody be mad at me, but the Dean up to this point to me is like complete rubbish. Like I dislike him
I love
every
it.
time even more. Like, at the beginning it was like great. I was like, oh, this beautiful boy and Rory and he's so nice, blah blah blah. But then with the whole Jess thing, I feel like the Dean's character just like degraded. I don't know.
I agree.
Adriana, you are
Me
awesome.
too.
That's spot on, Adriana.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Adriana.
Wait a
You have to
second.
get
Chris,
hard
are you
stuff to
Chris,
go
are
by
you Team Jeff?
producers.
No,
Oh,
I'm
your
not-
team. Your
I'm not-
team a character that's not here yet.
Sort of, but I
But you
don't
think,
know
but you think that Dean is garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage exactly. He's just
rubbish.
I just think he's
What is the difference between rubbish and garbage?
nothing.
Rubbish is the better way to say garbage.
One is kind of nicer than the other.
What about we just call him basura? What do we say basura?
No, that's especially like I said
That's
that
Chris.
especially for Christopher. Okay,
That's Chris.
his thing.
So Christopher is basura, and
From now on, everything
and
we don't
Dean
like,
is
we call
rubbish.
Chris.
Now he's not
Oh,
at her
that's a little
graduation.
much.
He really is. Oh yeah, John, did you notice Chris wasn't at Rory's graduation? So maybe that he is a little bit more garbage as a result. How do you not show up for your daughter's high school
He
graduation?
was. Did anybody not hear what?
Is it
Laura
very
said?
possible? Is it very possible that the actor is working on something else?
Maybe.
Who has David?
No,
but they addressed that, and I like that they did. She
I
said,
know they,
no,
I know
that
they
he was in touch.
say he's out of town and stuff, but still, yeah.
And keep in mind, he still has the brand new baby at home. Like, it may just have been a hard thing to pull
Hey,
together.
spoiler.
No,
She had the baby already.
we were there.
We
with
all
him.
know.
Oh yeah, that's right. I missed that episode. Never mind. You're right.
Adriana, were you here during Keg Max? Did you have
Yeah.
any issues with Jess's behavior in the room with her? And
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
did you have
Oh,
any?
I was not with you guys, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, it was all messed up, but I felt it was messed up in both sides, like Rory's perspective and his perspective. Of course, he was like, he was like doing it all wrong. Yeah, the party. I remember. Yeah, that's what I think. He was like in a bad place at that time.
That's a good way to put it. He was kind of in a bad
He
place.
was in a quote unquote bad place.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We don't have to dive into that too much deeper. We already did that. Let's talk Luke and Lorelai. I mean, it's one thing is for sure, that is the cliffhanger. Like, that's the only thing really in this whole episode that makes you feel like there is something more to come. Everything else feels like we have totally wrapped up an arc. Like, Jess is over, Paris is over, Chilton is over, and then you have this that's kind of like, oh, it's not over. This is not over. There is something big coming.
And Mary has comments. Yeah.
Mary.
I actually have questions because I want to know what people think about this thing where he says he's afraid to go on the trip because he's leading Nicole on. What does that mean? And why does he need Lorelai's approval to do it, even though he says he feels like he's leading her on?
I think he wants her approval because he has been pining away for her, and I think he kind of got the feeling she might have liked him after she told him about the dream, and he was feeling out what she would think about that and wanted to see before he went on the trip if she would discourage it in any way.
Yeah, I mean, I got from that moment was just simply he's into Lorelai, and you know, went and so much so that he wants to sort of get her, he wants to sort of feel her out in terms of how she would feel about that. I mean, it's very clear that he's ready to leave Nicole.
Yes, I think he's totally trying to see. Like, if she has no interest in him, of course he's probably just thinks he'll go. But if he thinks she has any interest in him at all, I think he wouldn't go. I think that's what he's trying to figure out.
So that brings us back to that question when he first asked out Nicole. Does it make a difference whether or not the motivation, like, does the motivation make a difference? If Lorelai had been interested and he wanted to dump Nicole, or now that Lorelai is not interested, so he's going to go on a trip with her, does the motivation of his actions make a difference?
So, John, if you're not going to comment, Tasha is flashing down.
Tasha.
Okay, I'm gonna move rooms because my dishwasher's gone. So I kind of like going to the dream that Luke had, which for a split second, even though I've seen this so many times, actually thought it was real. I'd be like, oh, this is not gonna go over well. I feel like with Luke saying, oh, we might not go now, and then like the moment that they had before Luke walked away, the whole like them talking about it, I feel like someone mentioned this and I totally agree that he was kind of feeling her out on her feelings for him, because I mean, we've all known this throughout the entire series so far. A lot can be said with no dialogue, and I feel like they're both trying to gauge each other out. It's like, okay, like, I have feelings for you, Luke sucks at communication, so he's not going to say that, and then Lorelai doesn't want to fess up to it, and so she doesn't say anything, but there's obvious chemistry there. And like going back to his dream, he dreamt of Lorelai and him, and Lorelai saying, "Do not get engaged." So that just says it right there that he's like, I like Lorelai. I want to kind of like be with her. Maybe this is a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't go on the cruise, but maybe I should just go anyway, just so I don't like let down Nicole. Type thing. So he's feeling like so many different emotions, and he doesn't really know what to do with them, like Jess. And I feel like, I don't know, there's a lot to be said for next season, so I can't really say too much on how Luke feels. But yeah, Luke is all over the place with his feelings, and he doesn't really know what to do, hence his dream.
Now that I think about it, I think that it's actually a very stupid dream, because it's like it's like not dream-like at all. It's just like a very normal situation where she says a very like normal thing, don't get engaged, and that's the end of it. So in a way, I like the whole situation because I'm a fan, and this whole time you can see that Lorelai and Luke have the hots for each other. They want to do it, and you kind of know it. So that it's cool for me to see that, you know, that situation happened where Luke had this dream, but it's actually pretty stupid dream if you think about it, you know? What do you think?
Yeah,
I've had that
it just reminded me, it reminded me back in college, Sean Gunn used to say that every once in a while he would just he would have a dream where he was just reading the newspaper throughout the whole dream. It kind of reminds me. This is like back in Chicago. You'd be like, man, my dreams are sometimes just, they're so boring. Like, I'll just be reading the newspaper.
And then he did in the diner in life.
Well, and I think
Adrian,
that
I love your description of that. I love it. Thank you.
I think that it's also a testament to the fact that dreams are produced by our subconscious. So it's maybe something in his subconscious giving him a check. But also, I mean, some people just have very mundane dreams. Luke is a very steady, not exciting person. He's very reliable. It does not surprise me if his dreams are very mundane.
Yeah, no, I mean, the point I was making is that, yeah, I think people do have mundane dreams, or weirdly mundane dreams, I guess. I totally bought it. Like, I also sort of felt like that it wasn't like I didn't interpret it as he went to sleep and that's the only thing he dreamed about. Like, I interpreted it more like this is where we enter his dream that he's been having, you know, like this particular part of his dream, like the last part of his dream was this. And it doesn't seem that crazy that you would have a dream that involves that happens at some point in the dream.
Yeah, well, I guess Diana was flashing as well. So just
what if that dream was you know, really based on Luke and Lorelai's friendship? I mean, Luke knows that he isn't that into Nicole. He knows he's anxious about this trip because, I mean, he says so, but he's definitely anxious about this trip, doesn't know if it's the right move. And I think Luke and Lorelai are truly very good friends, you know, regardless of their, you know, latent feelings for each other. I feel like, you know, they don't want to admit that. And I think they also like dance around it because they are truly good friends and they would actually lose a lot if it didn't work out, right? Like, so that's a tough step to make, especially, I mean, you know, it's Luke and Lorelai, like they've been in each other's lives for a really long time. So I almost feel like the dream could be him, you know, wishful thinking, like her basically asking him to stay. Or it could be my friend is my conscience telling me I don't want to do this and I shouldn't do this.
Yeah. Although it definitely felt like the mood of the scene, the look on her face felt a little bit more than friend.
Yeah, like you're very hot, Luke.
Yeah, I know. It had a little, like, I almost remember it as her almost like biting her bottom lip. And maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but
Luke did look good in this episode.
He did look really good in this episode. Yeah.
With a suit and all.
A stud.
But that's also why I say that, you know, the mood is clear. And so but again, like, if they sort of cross that threshold, there'd be a lot to lose. And so, you know, there'd be a lot to gain as well, of course, but, you know, it would really change everything about both of their lives. It's not just, it wouldn't just be casual. It wouldn't just be feeling it out. It would be different. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like, I think all of those things could be true in that dream.
Yeah. I think
I agree.
Luke, so Luke wants Lorelai, and she dreams about her with those eyes. The end.
All this dream talk makes me feel weird because I do not remember my dreams ever.
Oh, I remember them all the time.
Don't.
And it's the worst because it takes over your life because dreams have some feeling in them that when you wake up and you still feel that feeling. I mean, this is very abstract, but I would rather much not remembering them.
I totally get what you're saying.
I can lucid dream, so try that one out.
Yeah, I wish I could lucid dream.
Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes I have to wake up and remember, did that actually happen?
It's weird. It is. John, do you wish you could dream like that because then you would sleep more, or just something about that interests you?
I think it's just, yeah, I've always heard about it, and I thought like I'd love to be able to do that.
Well, being able to control your dreams, one of the best things that you could probably have, because then you can kind of control, like, oh, I don't want this monster, be gone. Or like, if you want to manipulate something to happen, then you can. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Lucid dreams are weird. I get them sometimes. They're weird. But I do prefer them to sleep paralysis, which I also have been known to get, and that is terrifying.
That I have gotten, and that is
the first time I got it. When I got up, I ran crying to my grandma, and I like cried again, like in the morning, because it was terrifying. It was horrible.
I thought it was handcuffed to like the bed or something.
I think I always feel like I'm gonna suffocate, like I can't get out of a pillow or something. Like I feel like it's.
Yeah, it's horrifying. I mean, sleep paralysis. That happens to me. Like I'd say, like once. I'd say about once a decade. It hasn't been. It's not a frequent thing, but I could say like once every decade. I'll be like and it always seems to happen when I've fallen asleep on like a couch or something like that.
Oh yikes!
And
yeah, that's me too. I think it's the couch.
It's just like, and then you just, I don't know, you just it's not
a few months, I think, probably. But I have a trick now, because now only one of my feet is able to move. So I'll like move my ankle back and forth, and eventually my brain will be like, oh, you're awake. And it's some security, even though it's horrible. So that
what's weird when you lucid dream is because I've had dreams where literally things will happen that will eventually happen. So like I had a dream once that I was at a dance in college, and then because we had a dance coming up for like in our college, and then everything that happened in that dream minus one thing happened. That was probably the freakiest thing I've ever done.
John, before you go, Shauna was flashing before we got sidetracked on this.
Oh, yeah. and Carl just joined us.
Oh, Carl.
Hello. Hey, Carl. Sorry, Shauna, do you have something that when you wanted to?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I had a really weird dream. I had when you work in a nursing home, you have to get the hepatitis shot, and there's 3 different ones, and they're like in like you get one and you get one, and then 6 months later you get the other one, and then 6 months later you get the other. And so every time that I would have the hepatitis shot, I would have the same exact dream of monstrous oranges chasing me through a field.
That's like an acid trip.
Oh my God, that's freaking terrifying.
It's really weird. And like,
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it was just really seriously weird. I've never had a dream. I've never had that dream since. But every time that I had the hepatitis shot, it was like that.
I always have really weird, unsettling dreams that have me really shook for the whole day. The next day, whenever I eat swordfish.
That's oddly specific.
What?
No joke. Wow. Babsy's laughing. It's true. Swordfish. It's super true. It's totally true. Like
there's gotta be something in the chemical makeup of that fish that affects your brain or something.
Yeah, every single time. And I love swordfish, but like every time I do it, like I feel the next day I'm like I feel really weird.
Well, hey guys, I'm gonna bounce, but I will be back for season 4. Damn.
Yeah.
Season 4 tomorrow.
I have to say, I actually, I kind of wish we were doing our hiatus after this season, because I feel like I'm so excited to find out what happens next that like I wish that I could really just simmer on that. But
just wait for season 5.
Okay, good. But we're gonna start season 4 tomorrow. We're gonna start it just dive right in, episode 1, season 4. We're not stopping. I will be back tomorrow at 7 for more of this. And we just to remind everybody, on nothing to remind you. This week is.
Hey, John, before you leave, I do have one quick question for you.
Yeah.
Did this episode live up to the hype?
This was a very good episode. It felt the episode, the season finale of episode 2 was way more like, what?
Yeah.
This one was a little bit more like, this one was just like, what's the best way for me to describe it? Wait, I know the best way for me to describe it. This episode was very much la 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 la.
Oh my god!
Come on.
This is one of the few episodes that I actually cry on in this entire show.
It's so funny that he chose that la la when like the la la for the main menu for the DVD box set for season 3 is the buzz.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
So,
I was
All right, wait, Tasha, what were you saying?
So considering everything's a little kerbobbled in the next coming weeks on like Canada Day and like Father's Day and then like things like that, I haven't seen it yet, but have you figured that out like how it's gonna work and stuff like that? Like where are we ending season 4?
Yeah, we're ending we're gonna end season 4 on Friday, July 2nd. And what you might not have been here when I went over this. So in order for us to hit that, because I'm leaving town on July 3rd and July 4th, obviously, is Independence Day. We want to start on Monday, July 5th for our hiatus week. That means we have to end season 4 on July 2nd. In order for that to work, there's a few things. Well, not necessarily to make this work, but just a few things that we're going to be doing. We're going to take a day off on the 24th of this month so that we can put the tailgate episode on the 25th, which is a Friday. That will allow us to do a fun barbecue themed episode where people who have barbecues or want to do faux barbecue in their kitchen can, we can just do one of our fun bag boy inspired, tea inspired activities. So that will be on the 25th. And in order to do that, we have to take the day off on the 24th. And then the 26th and the 27th, that weekend, we're going to actually do a triple feature in the morning. We're going to do 3 episodes on Saturday morning, and then 1 on Saturday night, 3 episodes on Sunday morning, 1 on Sunday night. And we're not going to do them back to back. We're gonna watch one, talk about it for a while, watch the next one, talk about it for a while, watch the next one. It's gonna be like from 8 a.m. to around 1:30. And I'm telling people that they can treat those 2 mornings a little bit more like a festival rather than a singular event. So feel free to pop in and pop out and exactly as it would be if you were at a festival, if you were at like a convention and like, oh, I'm going to stick around for this episode, but I'm going to come back. I'll see you guys, for the one after. So that's how we're going to treat that weekend. And those
will be posted soon, right?
Yes, I'll do that tonight. And then Canada Day on the 1st, we're going to take that off. And then on the 2nd, and then on the 2nd, that's going to leave us with 2 episodes. That's going to leave us with the penultimate episode and the finale. We're going to do one at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so 6 p.m. your time, Tasha, 8 p.m. for folks on the East Coast. And then we're going to go right after that. We're going to go into the finale, and we are going to go just back to back on those. And then
wait, so the season finale of sorry, I'm asking so many questions for them. So here, so the Friday the 2nd.
Friday the 2nd season finale, and also the second to the last episode
will be in one day.
In one day, starting at 5 p.m. and we're going to go one episode right into the other without doing a talk, and then afterwards we're going to talk about both of those, and that will be a long talk as well.
Well, I'm glad you're not starting it at 4 Pacific time because I work until 5.
John,
that makes me
no
very happy.
popcorn and cotton candy at this festival?
If we want, people can have cotton candy and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
let's make season
Yes.
4 the fun season.
The carnival.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna bounce.
Stay cool out there, John.
Oh yeah, Reseda went down.
Yeah, we were
Receda's-
101 today.
Resita's not far from me. So crossing fingers. It's
John
hot.
was like Tigger.
It is
Okay.
really hot.
Just
It's like
a quick-
it's like it really feels outside like a blow dryer, a hair dryer.
Yuck.
That's
It's awful.
miserable.
It's
Yeah.
like New York in mid-August.
But not as stinky.
Nope.
So now,
Just put a bucket of ice in front of it.
But New York is some
Bucket of ice.
Manhattan is kind of stinky during the summer. All right, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you once again for watching this. This was an awesome finale and a lot of fun.
Just a quick thing, John. Sherry is having the same trouble she had before. She sent you something, so I just
What is
wanted
going
to...
on? That is so
Yeah.
weird.
So I just
Well,
wanted
as
to
long as
point
Sherry does not think that that she's been somehow banned from this, that and you know, I should actually check and make sure. Although no, that's not possible because anybody can come into these rooms, like, which, you know.
Do you having a problem getting in?
Yeah, it keeps giving her an error. Oh.
That's weird.
Well, can somebody at least give her the passwords for these mementos? Or
She
for
was,
the
yeah,
mementos?
she was around for that. It's just
Okay.
afterwards she got bumped out and couldn't get back in.
Bye, guys.
See, this is the reason why I want us
Hi,
to
Tyler.
This is the reason why I want us to have our own
I
clubhouse.
agree. That's
I mean,
exactly
I'm just
what
so
I
sick of it. I'm just so sick of this thing.
I actually
Yeah, I
from,
pinged her,
so
so
much
hopefully the
easier
ping
when
will
John has done his thing.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, John.
All right, thanks for your
Bye,
time.
John.
Yep.
Thank
Night,
you.
Beth.